Okay, so let's start. Multi-view projection of an isometric drawing. Okay, after this session, our objectives are you should be able to explain the concepts of solids, identify normal, inclined, and oblique planes, draw the multi-view projection of an isometric drawing. So for the concepts, let me just clarify a few things. Importante ito kasi merong mga problems sa plate and sa exams minsan na ito yung napapansin kong common misconception na nangyayari sa mga students. So first, na concept na gusto kong i-discuss, when two planes of the same orientation are joined together, the segment common to the planes disappear. Let's say, kunyari, meron kang ganito, this is a triangular prism, then meron ka ditong kasing height niya na cube. Kapag pinagdikit mo yan, what will happen? The line in between, so ito, di ba? Ito yung joining line niya, tsaka ito. So pagdating dito, pag nag-join sila, wala na yung line. Okay? Kasi magiging isang plane na lang yon. Ito magiging isang plane na din. Ano ang consequence nun? Ibig sabihin, kapag sa plate nakakita kayo ng line sa gitna, you are sure that they are not the same plane. Ibig sabihin, hindi yan pwedeng magkaiba sila ng orientation o kaya magkaiba sila ng depth. Hindi pwedeng magkapareho sila ng orientation at magkapareho ng depth kung may line sa gitna. Kasi kung magkapareho sila, dapat mawawala yung line. Naintindihan? Ulit. Kapag may planes ka na magkadikit na pareho ng orientation, then mawawala yung line sa gitna. Okay? So that's the first concept that you should remember. Next concept, two 3D objects that are connected by only a segment or a point are considered two separate solids. For example, if you have two cubes, tas pinagdikit nyo siya such that they are intersecting on a common line, kumbaga, ito lang yung common sa kanila, linya, then they are not actually one solid. They are considered as two separate solids. Paano sila magiging isang solid? Kung may volume yung connection niya. So dito, anong ginawa ko? Instead na line, kung papansinin nyo, meron ng thickness yung part na kung saan sila nag-join. Then, in this case, these two are now joined and this is one solid. Sorry, this should be one solid. Ayan. So this is considered as one solid. So, bawal ang line connection. Bawal din ang point connection. Kapag meron kang dalawang objects na nag-join together by a line or a point only, then they are not a single object. They are two separate objects. And in ES1, for multi-view projection and isometric drawing, you are only given one solid. So walang given or hindi kayo bibigyan ng problem na merong dalawang solids sa isang multi-view or sa isang isometric. Laging one solid lang. Okay? Lastly, all parts of the solid has volume. So kapag may nakita kang ganitong isometric drawing, unang pwede mong maisip, sometimes no, ang pinaka-basic kumbaga, ang intuition ng tao, makikita niya parang meron kang papel na nasa sahig. 'Di ba? Mukha siyang papel na nasa sahig. Pero hindi yan dapat papel. Ibig sabihin, it should have a volume. This cannot be just a plane. It should be three-dimensional. A plane is two-dimensional. So dapat magkaroon siya ng volume. Paano 'to magkakaroon ng volume? Perhaps baka meron niyang triangular prism pala to na nasa ilalim yung apex. Imagine mo yung apex nito nasa ilalim. Okay, ito yung base. Meron kang tawag dito, square pyramid, Square pyramid na naka-invert. Tapos imagine niyo yung nasa ilalim niya yung apex ng pyramid. O, di ba? So ibig sabihin, ito magkaka-volume na to. So, you can imagine this as anything else. except for just a plane. Again, pagdating sa ES1, walang papel, wala ring wire. When I say wire, na line lang. Okay? So parang may hidden lines po siya, sir. Pagdating sa multi-view, yes. Pag tinignan mo siya from the top view, magkakaroon siya ng hidden lines. Puntahan natin yan mamaya. That's a good question. Okay. So these are the three concepts that I initially would like to share to you. Next is, okay, concept of normal, inclined, and oblique planes. Importante ito kasi hahanapin ito sa inyo pagdating sa plate 19. Okay, by definition, hindi pala definition, by demonstration, normal planes are true shape in one primary view and edge view in the other two. Inclined planes are not TS in any view, or sorry, in any primary view, and edge view in two of the three primary views. Yung not applicable lang dito sa TS. So, ibig sabihin, it is not TS in any primary view, but it is edge view in two of the three primary views. Pag oblique planes naman, not TS nor EV in three primary views. First of all, let's define what primary views are. So, sana naalala nyo kung ano yung mga primary views, no? Primary views are those produced by HRP, FRP, and PRP. Namely, the top view, front view, and right side view. So kapag hindi sila, ito yung tinatawag nating primary views. Okay? So recall lang yon, alam na dapat natin yon. Now, kapag pag inobserbahan nyo tong tatlo, normal planes, inclined planes, at saka oblique planes, ang pwede nyong pansinin dito, tingnan nyo yung number of edge views. So kapag normal plane, EV siya in two views, in two primary views. Kapag inclined plane, EV siya, sorry, this is, teka lang, parang may mali. Error to pakibago, this is a big mistake. Dito sa inclined plane, this should be 1. Paki-take note, babaguhin ko ito bago mag end yung class natin. I mean, yung in-upload ko, babaguhin ko. So, ulit. Kapag normal plane, edge view siya in two primary views. Pag inclined planes, edge view siya in one. This is just one of the three primary views. Pag oblique plane, it's not edge view in any of the primary views. Example, A. That's normal kasi A is here. So makikita mo siya dito, this is true shape. Pero wag nyo na tignan kung true shape ba siya o hindi. Tignan nyo na lang kung edge view ba siya somewhere else. Okay? So you can see A in top view, pero you cannot see A in front view and right side view. They're actually there. Plane A is actually here and also here. However, plane A is edge view here. Similarly, plane A is edge view here. So, ibig sabihin, si plane A, edge view dito, then that's normal. Kasi, edge view into primary views. Similarly, B and C and D, so A, B, C, D, they're all normal. So, kapag normal, parang flat siya kapag tinignan mo in one of the primary views. So, kunyari, si A dito mo lang nakita, si B dito mo lang nakita, si C dito mo lang nakita, si D dito mo lang nakita. Kasi edge view siya dun sa two others. So, they are normal. Next is inclined plane. Sabi natin, si inclined plane, 1 to 1. So, kailangan edge view siya in one view. One of the three primary views. So, ibig sabihin, kung out of 3, 1 siya edge view, dapat makikita mo siya 2 beses. Ito yung plane E. This is plane E. Pag tinignan mo sa top view, nandito siya. Pag tinignan mo naman from the right side view, makikita mo pa rin si E. Only in the front view that you will not see plane E because it's in edge view here. So that's an inclined plane. edge view in one primary view. Lastly, oblique planes, hindi mo siya makikitang edge view kahit saan sa mga primary views. As an example, you have here plane F. Plane F, if you look from above, makikita mo siya. If you look from the front, makikita mo siya. If you look from the right side view, makikita mo siya. So it can never be shown as, or it can never be seen as edge view in your primary views. Therefore, we identify it as an oblique plane. Malinaw ba yung differences between normal, inclined, and oblique planes? So,
Yes, sir.
thank you. Minsan, minsan lang, no? Minsan ayaw natin ng oblique planes. Kasi parang, ano ba yan? Simple-simple sana ng buhay, bakit may obliques pa? However, sometimes yan yung nagpapadali ng problem. Sometimes lang, no? Merong mga cases na dumadali yung problem kapag nakakita ng oblique planes. Okay, let's continue. What makes isometric... Paano ba i-hide to? Kaya lang ha. Gusto kong i-hide yung... Merong nakaharang sa view ko. Anyway, what makes isometric drawing confusing? Okay? An isometric drawing is confusing when you have a lot of segments shown in point view. Marami tayo niyan actually pagdating sa isometric. Planes in edge view, overlapping segments, and hidden details. Kasi, pagdating sa isometric drawing, segments, planes, and portion of planes behind another plane are completely invisible. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? Sa isometric drawing, walang hidden lines. Kapag hidden siya, talagang invisible talaga siya pagdating sa isometric drawing. Pero pagdating sa multi-view, nagiging hidden lines sila. Okay. So here is my recommendation on how you will tackle your problem. You may have your own, pero well, ganito ako mag-isip. Okay? So this is not the only solution. I-remind ko lang, this is not the only solution, pero since probably kapag sa future magtatanong kayo, sir, paano ba i-interpret yung ganitong image? When you consult with me, I will still go back to this process. Kasi ito, kumbaga ilang semesters ko na ba ito pinagagamit sa estudyante. Hindi pa nabe-break tong system ko na to. So, give it a try. Gamitin nyo to para magkaroon kayo ng system kung paano nyo i-convert into multi-view yung inyong mga isometric drawing. First is draw a possible glass box that will enclose the object. Second, select an easily identifiable plane. Usually, these planes are either normal planes, planes defining one of the boundaries of the glass box, irregularly shaped planes. Next is to determine the orientation of planes adjacent to the initially identified plane. So, ibig sabihin, kapag naka-identify ka ng initial plane sa number 2, ang susunod mong i-identify yung katabi niya, adjacent. Huwag kang pipili ng isa pang plane na hindi connected dun sa una. Para may progression yung paggawa mo. Hindi siya magkakahiwalay. If the planes that could be drawn are physically impossible, return to the initially identified plane and check for its correctness. So kapag hindi mag-work yung susunod na plane, there could be a problem dun sa napili mo dun sa number 2. So you need to recheck number 2 kung tama ba siya o hindi. Kung may iba pa siyang possible interpretation, something like that. Then, gagawin mo lang yon. You just need to repeat that process until makomplete mo yung inyong multi-view. So, let's put that into action. Try natin. So, simulan natin sa simple. So, I just move the steps here. They are the same steps. And then, naglagay ako ng image dito, which is yung inyong isometric drawing. You already know what isometric drawing is. And then, nandito yung area kung saan yung drawing yung multi-view. Pag meron kayong multi-view, usually nagbibigay sila ng mga tick marks. So yung tick marks mo, they are the location of the boundary or corner of your glass box. Okay? Mamaya, ano ba yung glass box? Or glass box ka ng glass box dyan. Anyway, remember ha, kunyari, etong distance na to, from the reference plane papunta dito, that should be the same as the distance from here papunta dito, di ba? Nalala nyo? 2 views away, 2 reference planes away. Kung ano yung distance doon, same ng distance dyan. Okay. So, simulan natin. First is draw a possible glass box. We know that this is an isometric drawing and the primary axes are oriented such that one is vertical. This is one of the axes. Another one is 30 degrees with respect to horizontal line going to the right, and the other one 30 degrees then pero going to the left. These are your primary axes. Okay? Hindi sila axes ha. Baka pala ko yung ma-pronounce niyo. Axes. Anyway, so yun. So ito sila, no? So ang kailangan niyo lang gawin, you need to figure out kung ano yung size ng smallest box that can enclose your object. Sometimes, katulad nito, itong object na to, madaling gawan ng glass box. Ito yung tinatawag nating glass box, yung kulay blue. And when you draw them in your plate, H lang yan. H pencil lang ginagamit dyan, okay? So, katulad dito, dahil boxy, kumbaga, yung aking object, madaling gawan ng glass box. Pero sometimes, kapag hindi boxy yung object, medyo challenging gawan ng glass box yung object. So, we will start muna dun sa madali lang. So, yeah. So, once na nakuha mo na yung glass box, then, the next step is to transfer this glass box to your multi-view. Now, naalala nyo na ang property nito ay such that kapag yung line or yung segment mo ay in 3D space parallel dun sa major axis mo, ibig sabihin, they have the same length. For example, yung length na to from this point hanggang dito sa point na to ng glass box, I can just copy it using my compass. Then I can transfer it na length dito. Diba? Pero before that, project muna ako ng mga points. Okay? Anong ginawa ko? Balik ko lang. Ayan. Pre-reject ko lang yung point pag ganun. Dapat dadaan din siya doon sa tick mark doon. Pag pre-reject ko naman siya pataas, dadaan din siya doon sa tick mark. Itong box na to, saan to galing? So I measured this length. Okay? And transfer it here. Then, gawa ko ng parallel na pag ganun. Parallel dito. So pag ganyan. Diba? Tapos, I also measured this length. Then transferred here. Then pag ganun naman. Sa taas, itong length na to is the same as this length. Then, ang kailangan ko na lang itong length na to. So, this length here, I'll copy here. Then, lilipat ko dito. So, kapag tinignan nyo sa right side view, itong length na to is actually the same as this length. So, parang ito, parang tinumba nyo dito. Gets nyo ba? Parang medyo ganun yung dimension niya. Yung length na to, it's the same as this length. So, you already have your glass box in your isometric drawing and you have already converted or transferred your glass box to your multi-view projection. Let's start. Select an easily identifiable plane and let's inspect yung mga planes natin. Sabi natin, yung mga easily identifiable planes, either normal plane, boundary plane, o kaya irregularly shaped plane. If you will notice here, A, B, C, D, and E, they're all normal. A, B, C, D, E. They are all normal. So, I can choose any of them as my initially or easily identifiable plane. Kung ayaw nyo naman nun, pwede rin namang planes na nagde-define ng glass box. For example, A defines the top portion of my glass box, di ba? B also defines the boundary of the glass box. Siya yung pinaka-front. Also, C defines the right side part of the glass box. Right? So, you can also choose based on the boundaries, plane boundaries. Lastly, you can also choose among the irregularly shaped planes. Anong ibig kong sabihin sa irregularly shaped planes? Sila yung mga more than 4, usually, ang number of points. So, pentagon and above. For example, A. Ano ba to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, this is a pentagon. Okay? This is easily identifiable. Bakit ko siya nasabing easily identifiable? Kasi, unlike triangles, madali siyang makita. Kumbaga, imagine niyo kung etong plane A ay kunyari lang hindi siya normal, kunyari lang, no? Let's say oblique yan. Kapag nakita mo siya, kung oblique itong A, makikita mo siya dito, makikita mo siya dito, makikita mo siya dito, dun sa tatlong views mo, kita mo siya pero yung general shape niya hindi nagbabago. Nagbabago lang pwedeng lumiit or nag contract in one direction pero ganun pa rin ang shape niyan. Mukha siyang I don't know how to ito na lang describe natin. Kunyari si B, mukha siyang letter L, di ba? So kapag nakita mo siya dito, mukha pa rin siyang letter L. Kaya siya madaling i-identify. Unlike kapag triangles, ang daming possible na pwedeng orientation ng triangles kaya medyo mahirap gamitin ng triangles as your initially identified planes. So in this case, well, you can actually choose any of the planes except for F. Kung papansinin nyo lahat dito, pwede except for F kasi si F hindi siya nag-fit dun sa mga criteria ko eh. Okay? So let's say I'll start with A. Kasi after all, A is normal, A is part of the boundary, and it is irregularly shaped. So let me just start with A. How do I do it? First, I'll copy this length. You actually know this length, no? Kasi kapareho lang siya ng length nung dimension na to nung glass box. So kapag tinignan mo siya dito, drawing ko, gawin ko nung H pencil, right? Dahil ito, pag tinignan mo sa right side view, ito rin siya. Pero pag tinignan mo sa sa front view, point lang siya. Diba? So far. Hindi mo kailangang i-drawing to, no? Itong point view na to. So far. Pinakita ko lang para nakikita ninyo kung saan siya with respect to the multi-view. So yan, naka-drawing ka na ng isang line. Pag drawing mo to, that's this one. Then, makikita mo na yung line dito sa front view. Walang change na makikita dito sa right side view kasi andito siya, point view siya dito. Yung ginawa mong line na to, that's actually point view here. Okay? So instead of going here, we cannot copy this length. Bakit? Because this is not parallel to the one of the axes. So ibig sabihin, hindi ko to pwedeng copyhin. This length cannot be copied. What else I can copy? Ito, I can copy this one. Diba? So, copyhin ko yan. Diyan. And then, I can also copy this length. And I know that this length is running parallel to this length or to this segment. Right? Pag ganun. E di pag ganyan siya. Tama? Then, connect. Since you already know where that point is, you just need to connect that here. I-remind ko lang, no? Yung length nito is not the same as the length of this line or this segment. So, nakuha natin tong line na to by just connecting. We do not copy that length. Pero kinopy natin everything else. Susundan? So, so far, since A is the top part of the glass box, in front view and right side view, you can only just see the edge view. Kaya line lang yung nakikita nyo dyan. Okay? So, A yung pinili natin dito sa number 2. Number 3, determine the orientation of the planes adjacent to the initially identifiable plane. Ano ba yung mga planes na adjacent sa A? We have B, E is also adjacent to that, F is also adjacent to that. So, sino yung pinakamagandang sundan? Ay, isunod. na plane. Ang pinakamagandang isunod ay si B. Why B? Because B is still one of the easily identifiable plane. Kumbaga, uunahin niyo yung mga planes na less likely mali ang interpretation ninyo. So si B, anong interpretation nyo kay B? B is a plane na normal na nandun sa wall. I call it wall kapag nasa ano siya. I call this one ceiling. No? This is on the ceiling, this is on the wall. B is on the wall. Okay? So, gawin natin yon. Pero before that, meron tayong pwedeng i-project. Ano yon? This one. So, itong point na to, pwede ko siyang i-project pa ganun. Bakit? Kasi, makikita natin na from this point, mamaya, gagawa tayo ng line na pa ganyan. Diba? And kung saan bumali, kumbaga, itong plane A, kung saan siya bumali, that's the same exact point. So, ibig sabihin, dito rin siya manggagaling pag ganun. So, mamaya, nandito siya. So, pwede na nating i-project lang yung point na yan. Saan naman galing itong line na to? Itong line na to, this is the length of this. Okay? That's the length of this. So, pwede ko rin gawan ng line pa ganyan dyan para later on, pwede ko na lang itong ibaba. So, let's proceed to B. O yan, ginulat na lang kayo. So, anong ginawa? Si B, katulad ng ginawa natin for plane A, we just need to copy the lengths as long as the lengths are or the segments are parallel to the major axis. So, ito siya. Okay? And from top view, makikita mo to. Dito mo siya i-drawing. Hindi ito usual practice, no? Pero I would like you to do this, no? Na kapag, kunyari, drawing mo siya sa isang view, make sure na drawing mo rin siya dun sa ibang view kahit na linya lang siya. Sometimes dun nagkakatalo. Kapag nakalimutan mo kasi siya, especially kapag sobrang complex na nung kino-convert mo na isometric drawing, dun nagkakamali. So, since gumawa tayo dito ng B, that should appear as an edge view here, edge view here. Okay? So, anong susunod? I can go for C. Well, I can also go for E. Bakit C? Bakit E? Well, C is still normal and nandun siya sa wall. So, easily identifiable plane din siya. Pwede rin namang E kasi si E, I already found 2 out of 4 dun sa sides niya. Kasi ito, di ba? Nakuha na natin to. Nakuha na natin to. And we already know that it will become edge view here. So, pre-project natin to. So, inuna ko si E kasi, ayun, madali lang naman siya, si E. So, technically, tutuloyin nyo lang. Then, D is that. Then, C. Inuna nyo sa F. And then, C. So, yun. Nakuha nyo na yung object. Pero, disclaimer, this is an easy object. Bakit ko nasabing easy siya? Kung natatandaan nyo yung nasa listahan ko kanina, kung ano yung nagpapakonfuse sa isometric, wala siya halos ng mga yon. Walang hidden portions, wala halos naka-edge view sa isometric, walang naka-point view. So medyo madali i-interpret yung isometric na to. So let's proceed to another example na medyo mas challenging ng konti pero manageable pa rin. So dito, kung papansin ninyo, meron akong part dito na kumbaga nauka sa may bandang likod. Right? Tapos nauka din sa may bandang likod. Okay? So ibig sabihin, eto na yung kanina sinasabi na magkakaroon ng hidden lines. Sir, need pa po i-label kung TS, EB, PV, etc. po yung parts ng drawing. The good thing is, if it's not in the instruction, for solids, hindi na kailangan. Kasi, sobrang dami nun. Okay? Especially kung hindi nyo naman nililabel yung points, no? So, kumbaga, kung papansinin nyo, walang label yung points natin. I mean, yung mga, tinan mo, let's say this line, wala namang label yung line. Pero kapag tinignan mo siya dito, that should be point view, di ba? Hindi na kailangang i-label unless ni-specify dun sa instructions. So let's go back to this example. First, draw the glass box. And the glass box is simple. Something like this. Okay? Okay tayo sa glass box. So next is identify, easily identifiable plane. This one, itong weird shape na to, pwede rin itong L na nasa taas, pwede rin yung L na nasa kanan. So they are all, well, normal, nasa boundary, tapos irregularly shaped. So kahit alin dyan ang unahin nyo. So kung inuna mo yan, madodrawing mo siya sa front view as a plane, tapos makikita mo siya sa top view as a line because edge view. Sa right side view, ganun din. Pag dinugtungan natin, project lang, no? Yan. So yung top view naman yung sinunod natin. Makikita mo naman siya sa front view. Well, walang nagbago sa front view kasi nag-coincide yung edge view nito, nag-coincide dun sa boundary noong una nating ginawang plane. Pero sa right side view, may bagong line kang makikita. This one. Okay? Next is right side view. Siyempre, after nating mag-project. So right side view, ganyan ang itsura. Now, in this case, dito na papasok yung ang tawag ko dito spatial reasoning. Spatial logic, spatial reasoning. Spatial, hindi special, spatial. Space, spatial. Sometimes, especially yung mga nakapag-take na ng ES1 before, ang tawag nila dito imagination. No, you're not imagining things, okay? You're trying to figure this out logically. You need to combine the planes in a logical manner. You need to reason with, you need to use reasons to make sense of the object. Okay? Hindi ito imagination. So, hindi nyo ako pwedeng sabihan na, sir, kasi kaya ako mahina dito dahil mahina ako sa imagination. May tulong ang imagination, pero this is more of reasoning. Okay? And your reasoning could be trained. So, napapractice ang reasoning. So, pwede nyo itong practicein. Nai-improve yan. Hindi katulad ng imagination na mahirap. Hindi ko alam kung paano i-improve ang imagination. Anyway, so, tignan natin itong plane na to. Let's say, uka lang siya. I mean, let's say, from here hanggang dun sa likod, kumbaga, flat plane ito. Parang ganyan. Nakita nyo ba? I can interpret this as this one is normal. Normal, so ibig sabihin, flat siya as seen from the top view. Right? So if this is flat, rectangle siya, hindi siya triangle. Bakit mukha siyang triangle dito, sir? Kasi nahaharangan na siya nitong object or yung mga planes mo dito. Ito na yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na sometimes, nagiging complicated or nagiging confusing yung isometric kasi nag-overlap yung mga lines, may mga portions na natatakpan na akala mo yun yung shape niya, mukhang triangle, pero actually, it could be a rectangle. So yung rectangle na to, pag tinignan natin sa front view, that is here as an edge view. On the right side view, ano yung lumabas? Hidden line. Okay? Hidden line kasi meron kang plane na nasa unahan. Tapos, itong line na to, at saka actually ito yan, itong line na to, at saka itong line na to, pag tinignan mo from the right side view, hidden siya dito. Bakit siya hindi hidden dito? Actually, it's also hidden here. However, if you have overlapping hidden lines and solid lines, then of course, makikita mo yung solid lines. So parang merong hidden lines pa rin dyan, pero nasa likod. You don't need to draw the hidden lines anymore kung overlapping siya with the solid line. Naintindihan ba? So, kung wala itong solid line dito, then makikita nyo yung hidden line from here hanggang doon, diretso yan hanggang dulo. So, similarly, let's deal with this thing here. Let's say, kunyari, parang merong uka dito na cube. Kumbaga, merong cube na space dito. Okay? Anong ginawa natin? Dinefine ko yung, kumbaga, ang tawag ko dito, second floor. Okay? So, this is your first floor. This is the second floor, di ba? So, yung floor ng second floor mo, square yan dyan. Ito yan. Nasa second floor. Tapos, pakita mo siya sa front view as a hidden line. Why? Kasi natatakpan siya nitong plane na to. Nandun siya sa likod. So, ito yan. And then, define naman natin yung wall na nandun sa gitna. Itong square na nandun. Okay? Pag ginawa natin yon, ganyan naman makikita natin. So, this is one of many interpretations of this object. Okay? So, consistent, meaning walang papel, walang plain lang. So, yung sinasabi natin kanina na definitions or yung mga concepts, so walang na-violate. So, ibig sabihin, this is a valid solution. Let's now have an alternative solution. So, binalik ko dun sa point na wala pa to, tsaka to. Paano kung nakita nyo to as a triangle talaga? Pwede kaya yon? Well, pwede. Let's say, kunyari nakita nyo dito, triangle talaga siya. So, imagine nyo, ayan, sinabi ko tuloy, imagine. So, you can interpret this as floor ng second floor. Pero triangular lang siya. So, kumbaga, yung flat floor dito, hindi siya nag-extend hanggang dun sa dulo. Hanggang dito lang. That's one of the interpretation, ha? This is not the only interpretation. So, flat siya dito. So, pag tinignan mo dito, dahil flat siya, edge view pa din. So, dito, hidden line pa din. Okay? So, since flat siya doon, pwede nating dugtungan ng isa pang triangle. Yung triangle na yon, connecting this point hanggang dun sa taas. So, saan galing yan? Simula dun sa second floor, doon sa floor ng second floor dito. Tapos, umakyat siya papunta dito sa ceiling. Nakikita nyo ba? Well, dito sa isometric, mukhang point view yun. Kumbaga, ito, yung line na to, yung line coming from here, papunta dito. Pag tinignan mo siya sa isometric, it is seen as a point view. Kita nyo? Siguro next time magpo-provide ako ng SketchUp model para pwede nyong i-rotate yung image. Para makita nyo kung gaano kapangit ang ISO. Ayoko ng ISO in a sense na, yun nga, madaming nagko-coincide na line. Anyway, so yan. This is another interpretation. Tapos, pwede kong lagyan ng plane na paganyan. Ito, ano tong plane na to? Ito siya. Naka-edge view dito. So, interpret nyo siya na parang portion ng bubong ng bahay, pababa. Diba? Pababa siyang ganun. Ito, naka-edge view dito. This one is going down, papunta dito. Dito, hindi natin siya makita kasi nag-overlap siya. Kumbaga, naka-edge view yan dito. Yan. So, how about this one? Well, if you want to complicate things, you can put a triangle here. Sir, saan? Nandoon, nakatago. Kumbaga, sa likod nitong portion na to, may triangle daw. Paano yun? Ganyan. So, kapag dinignan mo from above, meron kang triangle na oblique na nanggagaling dito sa ceiling, tapos dito sa second floor dito, tapos second floor dito. Sana nasundan nyo. Ceiling, second floor doon, second floor dito. So, triangle yon. Hindi mo siya kita dito kasi natatakpan. Okay? Ito siya. Ceiling, second floor, second floor. So, once na meron ka na nun, kapag kinumpleto mo to, ito, triangle din na nasa floor. Kumbaga, kamukha siya nito. Triangle na nasa floor. Etong part na to, triangle na lang din siya. So, magiging, ganun siya. Anong nagbago? Ito, magiging solid siya. So, this is another interpretation of this object. Okay? Ano nga yung sabihin ko dito? Kapag kayo yung gagawa ng object, go for the simplest interpretation of the isometric drawing. Huwag niyong piliin yung mas complicated. So, sir, kung pipiliin ko yung pinakasimple, bakit pinapakita mo pa tong mga complicated na solution? Kasi minsan, yung object nyo, para mag-fit siya dun sa iba pang components niya, para mag-fit siya dun sa iba pa, you need to go the extra mile of interpreting it in another way para makakuha ka ng tamang figure. So sometimes, hindi siya alternative solution. Sometimes, this is the only solution. Merong ganong cases. So yun. Optional technique, kapag hindi gaanong madami yung points, pwede nyong i-label yung points para masundan nyo kung nasan sila. I don't recommend this technique, especially kapag yung object nyo is katulad na nito. Kasi imagine niyo, pwede kayong maubusan ng letters kapag gumamit pa kayo ng points dyan. Pero kung makakatulong sa inyo, then go ahead and identify those points para makapag-connect kayo. Pwede rin namang hindi lahat ng points identify nyo. Kung makakatulong sa inyo na partial lang, go ahead. So there. I think I have already explained the concept of solids, and we have already identified normal, inclined, and oblique planes. And lastly, we have already drawn multi-view projection of isometric drawings. Questions? Okay, let's read. Ayun, wala po. Sir, notation pa din po bang pag-explain ng process? Hindi ko pa yata na-announce, no? Graduate na kayo sa notations. So, starting from the sketching, hindi na kayo gagamit ng hindi na kayo required gumamit ng notations. So, wala nang notations. If you would like to make it an essay, go ahead. Okay? By the way, let me just remind this here, and also I will post this in Zoom and in Ovle. Okay? Starting plate, 19? Starting plate 19, non-compliance with the engineering lettering will merit an automatic deduction of 20 points. Sir, bakit ang laki? Kasi hindi kayo nadadala. Meron pa rin kasi hanggang ngayon, hindi gumagamit ng engineering lettering sa label ng points at saka ng HRP, PRP, ng class number, section. Maliit na bagay lang naman yan. Pero kung pipilitin yung hindi gawin, edi wala akong choice kundi mag-impose ng higher penalty for that. Ulitin ko lang, no? 20 points, automatic, kapag merong hindi engineering lettering sa labels, sa section, or sa class number. And it should include horizontal guidelines. Matakot na kayo sa 20 points, please. Para naman hindi na paulit-ulit. Lagi ko na lang sinasabi. Anyway, so other questions? So basically, that's the end of the presentation for today. meron akong i-upload na practice sheet. Dun, this is separate pa from the module. Ano to? Teka. Teka lang ipapakita ko lang para meron kayong idea. Let me just look for it. Regarding sa horizontal guidelines, sir, would it be better kapag diniinan sila unlike sa recommended na sobrang light shade? Hindi po kasi nakikita kapag ni-scan. Wag masyadong madiin. Basta yung visible enough, please. Teka lang, nawala ko. Nahanap ko yung i-upload ko. Papakita ko lang para meron tayong lecture materials. Hindi ko makita. I-upload ko na lang, sorry. Hindi ko makita yung gusto kong ipakita sa inyo. So, i-announce ko na lang din kapag na-upload ko siya and it will help you practice sa pag-drawing ng isometric and multi-view. So, kung meron kayong chance na mag-print, print nyo na rin yun. Yeah, there. Sir, nawaglit po sa isip ko na may sync class today. Pwede po matanong ano po na-discuss in the first 30 minutes of our class today. We discussed the solution to MR2 and multi-view to isometric. Sorry, multi-view projection of an isometric drawing. So ang na-discuss ay yung nasa naka-upload sa announcement section ng forum natin. And then, in-announce ko din na, hindi ko alam kung naabutan mo, pero most likely naabutan mo na 20 points ang deduction for non-engineering lettering. Though hindi ka naman affected doon dahil ikaw naman nag-engineering lettering. So anyway, yeah, I will just inform you kapag na-upload ko na yung mga dapat kong upload and kapag na-edit ko na yung slide na to. Kasi mali yung isa, meron siyang error. Baguhin ko lang tapos i-upload ko ulit. So that would be all for today. Questions? Our next meeting would be on November 10. This will be available right after. Medyo ano lang to, no? Kwento ko lang. Pag in-end ko yung meeting, which is, i-end ko nga yung recording. Total, tapos na yung lesson.